Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We haven't seen for a long time. So yeah, I'm pleased that you all had an intense discussion. We had some impressions from walking around and sitting with the groups. And now I think you're all also curious what the others found out. So our idea was to have the table speakers here and that we would have sort of an interactive presentation of your findings. From one group I also received a digital version, so we are trying to figure out the problems with the sending. And yeah, the key idea was to have to share some insights about what your results from this exercise were. And then as well, so where did you see the main benefits from which solutions? What was probably also with your approach to it? What were the hot discussion topics? Yeah. So who wants to start? Who wants to take the lead? Or should we
start for the white goods manufacturing purposes? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, in our okay. In white goods manufacturing area, I mean, we are discussing from the production to the after-sales services. I mean, from end-to-end process. And when most of the people in our group from Arçelik, so we are mainly focused on Arçelik also. And when we think about this process, I mean, we first thinking about before the product, before the after-sales services. I mean, we are focused on the lean organization level. So Arçelik is a huge company and huge organizations exist in the company right now. And we are somehow trying to figure out to digital conversation from the Arçelik also. And we have a program also in Arçelik. In Koç Group also has this kind of program. So within that organization also, we already we are also discussing about these issues in the currently. So when we check these items on the repository and concept repositories and technological repositories, mainly we are focusing on operations and supply chain, corporate services and business models. So regarding of business models, we are focusing on the both offices, workplaces, lean organization, lean management also, and how can we handle these processes in better way. I mean, we should be agile in the future to be able to catch these digital operations in the future. We should find these solutions in Arçelik also, in Arçelik environment also. Do you want to add or say something?
Well, I think we have done quite an intensive exercise, each one of us. So we ended up coming with a heat map that was mostly consolidated on the organizational aspect of this, because that's the foundation. So before we leanify the organization and cut the silos and make data democratized, I think a digital transformation is literally not possible. Well, it may be partly possible, but would be very difficult. So as a start in a roadmap, I think this has to come as a prerequisite. So we need to first make the organizations leaner and have projects around this, or projects that are going to leanify the organizations. And afterwards, we have to democratize the data. And with those two will come all the rest. Anything that is disruptive, like blockchain, etc., they sound really fancy and cool, but before we really make data and organizational resources accessible, we will not be able to achieve those. So that was our most important finding. But then again, we also know that the digital transformation is going to happen in several, I would say, domains. So digital processes to be number one, together with digital workforce. So digital workforce, digital processes, that is the prerequisite. So if you're thinking about it like laying asphalt, so that will be the asphalt that we can drive on. And on top of it, we will then be able to smartify the things. And things being both our products and plants, which is already on the way. Then the data coming from that is going to connect us straight to the consumers, which will eventually evolve into new business models, which hopefully will bring new revenues. And everything else is just side product as productivity increased along the way. So it's just a summary.
Okay, so basically you also had a look through the tech topics, and I assume that at Archly Group you are in one way or another using already most of those technologies like augmented reality, or you have probably experimented with that, or?
Yes, I mean we are using would be too ambitious to say, but I would say that we're not yet using them, but we are on the way of implementing them for commercialization. Okay. So we have done several proof of concepts and several R&D projects are ongoing. But yes, we are working in pretty much each of the lines, including blockchain. So.
So you're building the foundations first and then evolving. I like this approach very much. Very much aligned with what I think.
Right now, these kind of old ideas.
Microphone.
Okay.
You see it more the other way around. If you look at it historically, first because it had digital transformation. Digital is a little bit misleading. I think even Industry 4.0 is a little bit misleading because you tackle it from the technology side, right? Or from the industry side. I think that's not where the biggest problems are. Effectively, I would say the industry know-how, and sometimes in certain areas, even the production technology know-how is much better in established companies than it is in startups, right? But the change you have to do in your operating model, this is really, will enable you to benefit from your existing strengths and gain the positive or advantage, the positive sides of the digital transformation as well. But let me ask you a question. Now you figured out, okay, it's operational models, what are issues or things where you are going to focus on becoming leaner, becoming more agile. Now I learned during the last 2 days you are quite advanced. At least when I talked to people from Archly, I talked to your chairman, I was rather impressed compared to, let's say, an average company. I would talk to even an average company in Germany. I would talk to. How far do you think you are with this? I would say, evolvement in terms of your operational model? Are you just starting, or have discussions already started? It's a question of next step of implementation, or where do you stand there?
I mean, I can say that. I mean, we started already, and we are trying in some kind of areas, in each areas, let's say. I mean, in factories, in automation purposes, in the offices also in automation purposes, for example, using some RPA kind of tools and eliminate the unnecessary work from the people and from the factories also. Yeah. We are just experiencing right now, and rollout in Archly case, it's huge operation to be able to do that, but we are right now experiencing, I can easily say that. Then.
Well, I think we have been, I would say that we are now moving in a more structured way with a proper governance model. Yep. So we do have a high-level roadmap and a granular roadmap following that. So we have identified the waves of transformation, and projects have been listed and the KPIs have been mapped. Okay. So we already know how we're going to measure the success. If you're asking where we are in those waves, we are at the early stages of wave number 1. And wave number 1 I would call as foundational work still. But awareness is there, so people are on board, and upskilling is ongoing. So yeah, I think next year we will start seeing the first fruits of the initial investment. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Super. Thank you very much. Our pleasure. So we hand over to Ford. Okay. Right. So in automotive sector, it seems that we are mostly concentrated on operational type of digital transformation, and apart from that, initiatives related to customer management has emerged as important subjects. And also, it seemed that we had discussions around actually what we have seen in the morning about improving the talent with partnerships with business schools, etc., or digital schools that are teaching digital transformation or improving skills of people.
and also transforming the organization in terms of agile, gaining more agility or making the organization more lean, flattening the organization, and also transforming the workspace, both in terms of workspace policies and also the environment, let's say. But since Ford Otosan is also a production company, there are a lot of issues or initiatives that we like smart, like let's say smart forecasting, predictive maintenance, predictive quality, and also using 3D technologies in parts manufacturing, those type of initiatives. Some of them we already started. Both the companies involved in the discussion has already initiated those works, and they are ongoing right now.
Cool. How far do you think? How far you think are with the latter stuff you talked about? Predictive. I think was it predictive maintenance?
Predictive quality, predictive maintenance.
Yeah.
We, as for Otosan,
yes.
we have already started those projects, but I can say we have failed 1 or 2 projects in predictive quality area because of lack of data or lack of relevant data, let's say, because it's an issue. The existing data or interpreting the data that exists is an issue. Labeling that data is an issue. When the machine has failed in the past, we don't have that data. Therefore, we have studied them with at least 2 firms, made some POCs, but they weren't successful. So we have now started collecting data from those machines, and now we started labeling, etc. And then we are going to try once more. That's one thing that we learned in this process as well. We are failing, and we are not afraid of failing.
Good, cool.
How was that when you went through that exercise, maybe from both previous speakers, or 3 previous speakers? Did you find it helpful, this structure with these target picture elements and let's say a list of concepts and technologies to figure out some areas where you could apply that? Is it some help, or what would be your comment?
I think I find it very useful. I have been through a few digital transformation work before, but this actually both the enablers or technologies concepts on one side and this model that you provided is very useful for developing a strategy.
Yeah.
Maybe adding, of course, in this very limited time frame, it is difficult to prioritize which projects are important. Maybe adding some kind of prioritizing those. So, what kind of a scale that we need to prioritize those projects? So, impact is rather than, for example, is it financial impact or what impact? Normally, in the previous studies we did, we always looked at financial gain or financial impact and how easy it is to implement that project, and we selected all the ones that are high impact and easy to implement and started from there. Maybe adding that into this model as an additional work, considering the time limitation, would be beneficial.
Yeah.
But seeing this picture and this matrix and putting some projects into each cells in the matrix is structuring your way of thinking, and I see it a useful tool. Thank you very much. I don't know if you comment.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll move over.
We were 3 industries in our group, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and energy. And so we created an imaginary company.
We had the biggest challenge.
To solve the issues.
Biggest challenge here.
And we mainly focused on people because we think it's the most important thing, as you mentioned in your presentation as well. We believe that our culture is not ready for transformation, digital transformation. So we want to make people ready for transformation. So we focused on people capabilities, business models, and corporate service control. So we wanted to change workspaces. We wanted to make it so people can enjoy workspaces a little more, so they can create more. We used technologies like augmented reality to maybe have fun and to learn new things also. And we wanted to make an on-time coffee machine, which recognizes the coffee time that you want to enjoy and makes it ready on time.
So have fun.
Have fun. Oh, it's creativity, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the second thing was performance management. We wanted to make it. We wanted to classify people using big data, maybe from other companies as well, like from TÜSİAD or from Facebook. It's a little bit problematic nowadays, but if we can classify people, we can give motivation based on people and motivate them in a specific way so that they can perform their best.
What do you mean with classify? I mean, you have criteria to classify. What kind of criteria did you have in mind?
I mean, some people enjoys traveling, some people enjoy sports, those kind of classifications, but we can go into deep classifications. We want to use big data for that and advanced analytics as well. And we wanted to make them more productive by e-learning technology. So these are our solutions to our problems, imaginary problems.
If you look into your company, but you had, I mean, the most challenging task, but you, very advanced, had the easiest task because we're talking about one company, right? Here you were in industry, now we have 3 industries, but very difficult for you to answer this question. But I had a short talk with the other ladies in your group. For your company specifically, where do you think you are currently standing? If this is your target picture, what you want to do for this fictitious company, now look at your own company. Do you think it's a long way to go? Do you think there are a lot of barriers you have to overcome? Or do you think if you propose this, your company would follow this road?
Yes, I think it's a long road. And if we focus on people again, and if we focus on the cultural change, we can succeed. And we can do that by, I mean, reminding people that they are valuable and the things they create are valuable. They're not just machines performing stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically it. Thank you. If you have any questions or comments.
The coffee machine.
Coffee machine.
Coffee machine. We need a coffee.
So we created a new product here, right? Or a new service.
And maybe, yeah. Also, I mean, we can open it to the audience from the other groups. Are there any questions specifically to one of the presenters so far? Any comments there? Doesn't seem the case. So.
Okay, I'm a representative of another imaginary company. Our group was acting under the roof of construction sector. We were 3 different producers. One is a roof coverings, including solar PV, and the other one was thermal insulation, materials plus paint production, and the other one wasn't exist there, but we are going to make another partnership with window producers. So what is the problem there? is we want to offer a holistic approach in energy savings in the household. So there is a problem on the end user side. In this sector, no company is focusing on the end user very much, because from the production until the use of the products, there are many barriers, or distribution channel is very saturated. Like we have distributors, dealers, and applicators who are uneducated. So we are going to, in the transformation, in the digital transformation, the biggest impact is going to be in the business model. That's why we are focusing on the business model here. So, and we are taking into account the end user. End user in these areas are working with different companies. They are going to the window producers, they are going to roof coverings, they are going to thermal insulation, and they are not the decision makers separately. So we want to make end user the only decision maker here. And plus there's lack of energy consumption knowledge at the houses. So we are going to supply them with some reports of energy savings and report them. And plus they don't know anything about expenditures. So this is a problem. So we are going to combine all these products with one service, and household, the homeowners are going to be the only decision maker. So how are we going to do that? So with one click, with fast inspection service, and with a fast offer, including the price, and they are going to calculate their return of investment very fast. It is applicable to new houses or renovations. So because the issue is about the business model, we used the business model canvas. Mm-hmm. You can see there, it's not in the actual format, but I only understand that. You don't have to look at that. So
you can stand up. You can stand up when you want to.
I don't need that, but here in our business model, we wanted to touch to the operating model because it's very difficult for us to understand, because such kind of business model is not existing yet. That's why we wanted to touch the customer management, operations, the supply chains, because we are not familiar to those new operation system. Plus corporate services. We didn't mention that separately, but using the business canvas model, we just put some remarks there. First of all, we have to get to know our new customer segment, who is the end user. That's why we need a big data and analytics. If you look at the value proposition, so I need to get up. As I said, we offer with one click a fast and complete insulation solutions, services plus products, and with a prompt offer. They will know what do they buy and what will they get and what will get in return. So in here we are going to get benefit from smart energy systems plus VR and AR simulations. We are going to use them for decorative and energy savings systems. So here we are also going to use the e-learning, because we want to create a network of applicators plus maybe the dealers and another network between this among this consortium, let's say. So if you look at customer management here, we are going to create a network with user. We are focusing on the user experience, and we are going to use the omni-channel mechanism here. So if you look at the channel, so digital and mobile platforms are our main channel here. So we are going to use the IoT very much here. So
how do you use IoT?
IoT, Internet of Things.
Yeah.
So the systems will talk to each other with a minimum manpower.
Okay.
So how are we going to, what are our key activities going to be? So the knowledge, we have to increase the knowledge on products and these new services, because 3 companies does not know enough about their activities or their operations. And plus, we are going to set some common goals. So, plus we are going to create a software, like an application, and we have to include new skills for workforce here, because it's a very new business for us. And digital recruiting and a self-selecting and automated selecting system of applicators can be a part of our operating system. And we are going to use the digital collaboration tools. So what are going to be the key partners? A new partnership with 3 main construction industry players. So we have to innovate together. It's going to be a new collaboration and new co-creation system. So the work has to be automated without any, we don't want to face any problems in the operation. And we have to set up a new work policies here. And of course, a new performance management has to be included there. So what are our revenue streams going to be? It's online sales, of course, and after sales revenues. So energy saving levels are going to be reported monthly or periodically. So and there are going to be some side products, mainly customized, like what I get here, like bulbs or smart devices. This is another revenue resources. So, and what are our strengths, and what do we have as resources to perform all this new business? So we have big data. Each company has a big data of different kind of applicators and dealers. It's a very strong thing. So we have an in-house IT department, and I think we are going to use less outsourced IT services. So we have also very strong marketing agency, and we have very high reputations in our sold segments. And cost structure, of course, the software development will play an important role here. So marketing and communication, retention of old and new applicators, because some will be out of the system automatically. That's why we don't want to take anything negative from those applicators who are also customers. So, and a new skilled workforce will be another cost point for us. So this is our new business model. It's very general. We want to make some connections with the operating model and also products and services.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
quite
Cool.
impressive for this time. Yeah. So direct questions, Carmichael.
I mean, it's now unfair to answer this question at that point of time, because you spent a lot of thought on this. What do you think if you want to implement this model? Huh? Cool. I think it's really cool. What do you think the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge, I think, is these are the traditional companies. They are the mass production of different construction chemicals, as far as I know. So the biggest challenge is coming from the channel itself and the sales points, let's say.
Okay.
For example, the dealers or the distributors.
Because you cannot agree on who owns the customer, or what you think is or to join the sales force?
Yeah, we have to, first we have to make them aware of the new improvements and new developments.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They have to renew themselves, and they have to invest themselves. So they have to change their minds.
Yeah.
This is this kind of sector. It's very traditional.
Yeah.
So if we are going to fail, so we have to get their support, even if we don't directly involve in this business model. But the biggest challenge is coming from there, and then it is the reflection to our sales personnel,
Okay.
because they are always speaking in the mouth of the dealers in the sector. That's why we also have obstacles within our culture.
Okay. From the way you make money, you talk about revenue streams, your online sales, after sales. What is your monetization element? So what, I mean, you are 3 companies, but you somehow join their activities, you partner, and then there goes one invoice to the end customer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What is exactly invoiced there?
Yes. And invoice is sent directly to the customers when they say that, okay, we are going to buy it, and click on the button, and we are going to make a percentage of shares of the sales. It's depending on the material they are using and the services they want to get at the same time or after the sales made. So it depends on what the customer needs in the future.
If you go to your management with this idea, what would they tell you?
They're already working on it.
Okay.
But it's very difficult. So
it's
a different kind of mindset, and you cannot do it with your present abilities and workforce.
No, definitely.
And I think it's going to be a different company.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. Cool.
So now we need the connection here with digital.
Okay, while we are waiting the connection, I can tell you our group structure and what we did. We are a group that we can say that automotive suppliers. I'm coming from Maxion Wheels, and I would like to tell you my company's structure a little bit before telling you the study, because the target company was Maxion Wheels in the group, and Maxion Wheels is the biggest wheel manufacturer in the world, and we have three plants in Manisa area in Turkey. We called it as Turkish operations, and the product portfolio is the aluminum wheels, the steel passenger car wheels, and commercial and bus the truck wheels. So for the digitalization and the transformation, in fact, in reality, last year we started some activities in aluminum plants, and we are the pilot plants to implement this transformation in all over the world globally. So the activities which is going to be done in Turkey will be the example for the other plants in all over the world. We have 21, and 2 is additionally added to this organization. Totally 23 plants will apply this digital transformation. Because we are automotive suppliers, and automotive suppliers, in order to survive and to have a sustainable commercial success, we need productivity. And we are mainly focusing for these activities to have the maximum productivity and also the maximum cost saving targets that we discussed yesterday. Of course, for a labor, for a professional, it's better to work to change the business model, to make the different investigations for the new business activities and entrepreneurs. But for the automotive suppliers, the world is just what I said, for the productivity and for cost saving. And last year also for the aluminum side, we are also focusing these activities. And today the study that we prepared for the wheel business for both product range, in fact. And we prepared a schema like that, and mainly we are, sorry for the terminology, we are focusing to operations and supply chain, because this model is applied to us by our customers, OEMs. So it's not easy to change the business model in this industry. So we are mainly focusing to operations and supply chain, and we know that one of the maybe the biggest challenge in this transformation is the technical capabilities and trained people and awareness of the people. So over the 1.5 years, we are seeing that really the trained people to apply these activities is not enough. There is not enough resources in maybe not only in Turkey, maybe in the European zone. So we are going to show you our focusing areas for the people capabilities also. But everything is starting with a good teamwork. So we are aware about it, and first of all, as you can see as number 8 here, the interdisciplinary team structure. While the organizations has some slow motion actions, in especially while you are your organization is starting to grow, the quickness is becoming less and less every day. So we would like to eliminate this by supporting the digital tools to communicate to each other, to cut the silo organizations, to implement more connection between.
It's okay.
Connection between the people and functions. So interdisciplinary team structure is really very important for this transition. And future workforce and new skills. This is really very interesting issue because we are thinking that day by day the working area, working environment will change. I would like to give an example. We are always discussing about it. We are a traditional production company. We have the machining and casting and painting functions inside for the production. And today, the engineers that are working for that departments are mainly the regular engineering skills as metallurgical engineer, mechanical engineer, etc. And they are now working on the product as product engineer. In fact, one of the main target for them, main goal for them is to produce the product itself and to eliminate the scraps and fallouts, to reduce fallouts, etc. But after the digitalization, if we can succeed to use the connected things as machines, as smart machines, it is really can be applied for the machine can produce the product itself as given quality specs. So the role of the engineer in the production area will change to have a sustainable working machinery inside the production. So we may need the not the production engineer anymore. We may need the maintenance, the mechatronics, the electronic guys in the shop floor as production engineer. And the current specialists, metallurgical engineers, mechanical engineers, need to have the big data analysis to go inside the product itself, to have the real engineering for their proficiency. So one of the main important focus area for this technology targets as big data and advanced analytics. And in order to succeed it, for the moment, we are working some consultancy and partnership activities with the different companies. So we are also using the on-demand labor platforms for these purposes. And now, while preparing, while we are doing this transition, the transformation to the digital world, we are training our staff, our own staff, for both mechanically, software side, and electronically, for the hardware side also. So after seeing the first 2 or 3 years investment on this, probably we are going to be able to recreate our own technologies to implement our production systems. So, by the way, it is also very important to train the people that we are working, that we are telling as engineering level of for this transformation, and also the blue color side is very important point of this transformation. We always have lots of training activities while we are making it the traditional way, and we are able to use it, the digital learning systems for them all, because everybody has smartphones, and the production areas have lots of digital equipments. So now we are working on this digital learning system implementation in the production areas. Corporate talent marketplaces that we are already have. We have really very good global organization for the HR activities. We have the system that is working quite well, in fact. So we are able to catch all the talents in different levels, even for the discovery of a talent.
Okay, cool.
Also emerging leader. And we have also the leaders that we are already trying to create, trying to develop their skills. So we are using also the digital tools, the e-learning tools for the moment, to have this kind of trainings. So this is also one of the very important tools that we need to use, number 15. And number 18, the work automation. It should be already in during the traditional way to say the industry 3 period, but of course we know that there are lots of missing points in different industries. We are one of them also. So there are still way to go to have the work automation level in our working environment. New workspaces and work policies. In fact, we can mention both all together because it is mainly related with, again, in order to find the people capabilities to discover their talents and improve the capabilities. So as mainly the other company, we are going to have, we don't have for the moment, digital libraries to create some relaxed area for the staff, mainly to create lots of activities and idea generation in there, because we also know that this digitalization is one of the innovative activity during this period of the industrial time.
If you look at all the points you have elaborated, what do you think are the ones with the highest impact, where you think there is either financially, time to market wise, efficiency wise, where you can make the biggest difference?
When we make our ROI study last year, we see the biggest impact on the big data and advanced analytics side.
Okay.
To get the benefits back after digitalization, or during digitalization, because it will be a journey probably.
Okay, you said before that your currently workforce in the engineering department is mainly electric engineers, right? And you think we need new talents, especially in terms of data analytics, people who can build the infrastructure for big data and who can use the data for analytic purposes.
Yeah, for the advanced analytics side, to use to comment on these, for example, if there's an artificial intelligence gives you some outputs from the big data, there should be some comment and evaluation by the proficiency of that physical area. For example, if I think about the casting, there should be metallurgical engineer that can understand what the word is in there, or not only the numbers. So the final comments and evaluation will be done, these analytic guys, after their skill works. So it's very important to combine the people capabilities, to have the proficiency as metallurgical engineer, and to have also the statistical knowledge capabilities to have these, to make these advanced analytics.
Out of your current workforce, your engineering workforce, how many are electrical engineers? It's in percentage, would you say?
We have mainly mechanical and metallurgical engineering people for the moment. We have very limited engineering for mechatronics and electronical side for the moment.
If you now would calculate the additional people you would need for data analytics, which I would also have under the same umbrella, how you think how dramatic or disruptive would this look like in 2 or 3 years? Do you have to turn over 50% of your current skill base, not workforce, but skill base, or you think it's rather a gradual process?
No. How we are going to use a disruptive way to to change responsibilities from the people. They will be now they are in production, and they will be data analytics in the future within 2 to 3 years, and they are capable because we already trained our people as for the Six Sigma studies in a good way, really good way. It's not our outputs, project outputs, not only the pictures. Also we are going to support with the additional stuff to make these activities. Especially we are going to also have some external outsources for the software side.
Cool.
So digital collaboration is one of the that I told you, to improve the interdisciplinary team structure. These are the main concept that we are going to use, and all the other technologies will be, as you can see in the chart, can be used by our use cases and business cases.
Cool. So a pretty comprehensive picture we see here in this matrix. Quite impressed. So, yeah. We almost covered quite a lot of the questions actually we wanted to ask in the panel, but maybe between you panelists, do you have any comments on the various approaches? How do you consider that? Is that more or less a similar approach you took here? How would you consider that? Because he showed very detailed now how you reached the goal.
Let me rephrase the question a little bit for the sake of time. You all are now involved in the digitalization, in the digital transformation. Is there one thing you would like to give to the audience as your basic learning or as your basic recommendation? Not what have you heard today, but from your own experience. What makes or breaks things, what you think people should definitely look at, or what you maybe did wrong in the beginning and people should avoid.
I think governance is important, because when I look at the picture, I see governance as one of the issues, how projects will be conducted. It's an important issue. So I would recommend to form interdisciplinary teams from the business departments and IT departments, and work in an agile way and make all the team responsible for the project outcome. That's what I can suggest, because we are also facing some difficulties in advancing projects. Yesterday it was the same issue that we talked about, whether IT should lead or business should lead. But from now, from the experience that we got, I would recommend to form such interdisciplinary teams and work in an agile way. That's what I would say.
Okay, cool.
So what I have learned within companies I worked and in the benchmarks I made, so this kind of transformation programs plus the innovation methodologies of programs has to be structured and put in the strategies first within the companies. It has to come from the top, and there's no way to success if you want to create something within the company and make it acceptable by the top management. There's no way, because I tried that. So, and it has to be in the strategy and at the program, and it has to be facilitated by a separate branch. So if you look at the innovation methodologies and who is responsible for that, most of the people in Turkey, I think, is responsible. The responsibility is of the R&D departments, but they are working in the closed doors.
Yeah.
They have no connection with other departments, and they are not in the market. So that's why there's such kind of programs like Garage or incubation centers in the companies are trying to simulate the new startups, the way of the working styles, let's say. So, and plus, coming to the digital transformation, and maybe the question of yesterday, and it is a matter of a combination and the coordination between the machines or things, systems, and people. So the management of this is not, it should not only in the hands of an IT department. It's a different kind of ability and a different kind of mindset. And it is not present in most of the companies, I think. And this kind of people have to be skilled in project management, change management, and also they have to know how to get sponsorship and how to manage that. So you have to put a system and strategy of change management, for example. And change management is not only the responsibility of project management. It's a separate kind of thing. So this is what I've learned so far.
Cannot agree more.
I agree with you also regarding the IT issues, and mainly we are working on a huge project, in fact, but we always says that as a motto of another company, think global, react local. So we saw that one of the biggest spark inside the organization is to create the people and support your own people who knows the operations and algorithm in there, because they are living with this daily work. In a day they are working in that world, and support them to create their own solutions also. Don't wait for the IT only. IT should support. And by doing this, now we are on a way to create our own applications in shop floor also. We have some small examples, and the main job of the IT to collaborate all these activities, because the real operation is coming from the production side, and they know what they need to do.
Cool, interesting. Any more comments?
Actually, maybe.
Well, in addition to everything I agree with, I'd like to actually summarize in 2 punchlines. Number one thing we learned is a company, especially the size of ours, should have a single strategy, and digital transformation has to be part of it. So you can't have a company strategy and the digital strategy separately. It doesn't work. So this way, the board owns the digital strategy. This is the strongest learning that we have, because we have very good leadership support for digital transformation. Number two is projects will fail. It will fail for multiple reasons, and that's okay. And I think we have to be proud, and I'm actually proud to say that I failed a few projects, and we announce it. we basically tell people that we started the project, it didn't go fine, and we parked it or closed it. And we also announced to people that we are actually not managing projects, we're managing a portfolio of projects. Some of them are going to yield good results, some of them are not going to yield good results within the agreed time. Yeah, these are the two important learnings for us. Like, make digital a part of the corporate strategy, and don't be afraid to fail and announce your failure. Manage your portfolio, not just single projects. Yeah.
What was your motto about failure?
Well, we just fail. Bias for action, and bias sometimes leads to failure. So
I think Arçelik had a motto, but I couldn't remember it now.
was it in Turkish?
Yes, no, it was in English. It's in garage. Fail fast.
Fail fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Fail fast. Yeah, fail fast is one thing. If you fail fast, then you go back. There's a way to compensate.
So I think very good insights from you, also on the general approach and where you stand in your effort here to towards digital industry 4.0. Yeah, and from my side, I can only say I hope that through the collaboration here and through the input here, you had also one or the other inspiration. At least I had, from the interaction here. So from my side, thank you very much. I would say for the hard work here, and it would be my takeaway here.
Okay, I can only say I cannot do better closing remarks than what you guys have said. So big applause to the guys on the panel. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Hope we gave you some insights you didn't have before. Thank you.
I have a chance to say something.
Oh, sure, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. You need a microphone?
I think I don't need it.
Okay.
First, let me introduce Nation.
Yeah.
In this case, I will start. Okay. First, let me introduce myself, because I'm sure some of you doesn't know me. I'm Nurşan Secretary General at TÜSİAD. First, as a concluding remark, I want to thank you to the participants for their active participation. Really, it was amazing to listen to you. Unfortunately, the meeting schedule didn't allow me to join and to be a part of this executive program. Actually, I do really wanted to join, but there are some unexpected meetings. As TÜSİAD, we are trying to contribute and support the studies of our members. And we are carrying out, I'm sure Hazan mentioned about our studies, and you all know, but we are trying a lot to complete the puzzles of this challenging exercise. And we are carrying out some training modules like this. This is something very executive. We have some information exchange meetings, and we are preparing some reports. And we're coming together with the members to understand and to share the knowledge. But we trust this program a lot, and the first one was successful. And I hope you find the second session as a successful one, and we will see you on the last one. I think we will execute it by the end of this year or early next year. Thank you, Oliver and Michael, for the lectures. You were great. This is what the information I have. And on the other side, thank you, Bülent and Hazal. You executed this program, and you're amazing. And thank you all. This was a very long speech. Thank you, and hope to see you again.
I always want to have the last word. All the materials we have shown to you will be provided to you. So you get the full presentations, you get the Excel sheets, which we used in the breakout session. So everything is available. Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you.